Hi folks, today we are studying volcanoes, and one of the volcanoes you see here is one of my own creations. It is a model of a cinder cone. Now cinder cones are not real high and exciting volcanic eruptions that you typically would get with stratovolcanoes such as Mount St. Helens. They're not very explosive. But they do produce showers of volcanic rock, basalt, that we call cinders, just like this. And in fact, these cinders are from a cinder cone, Sunset Crater in Arizona. And cinder cones generally have one big eruptive cycle. And during that time, there's a lot of fire, there's a lot of smoke, there's a lot of cinders flying up in the air, and it builds up the cone that you see here and produces very gaseous basalt chunks. Here's a piece of cinder that was erupted from Sunset Crater. And now I'm going to show you an eruption here that I used to do when I was a kid. So you're not going to get anything like Mentos and Pepsi or vinegar and soda. You're going to get the real thing here. So I'll give you some clues, and maybe perhaps you can construct your own. The volcano is really constructed out of plaster of Paris, such that protects it. We want to protect from fires and things like that, because this does get hot and it will produce some flame and some heat here. So, but the two chemicals I use are actually in and of themselves quite harmless. One of them is a compound called potassium permanganate. And so I'm going to put that in here. Make sure I see how much I'm putting in there. I don't want to blow up the neighbor's yard here. Okay, and then we're going to add another real harmless product called glycerin. It's used in, in lotions and creams, oils, things like that. But the two together, the potassium permanganate and the glycerin, produce a rather violent eruption. So who knows what this thing is going to do? We'll see. We may have an unexpected eruption similar to what happened with Mount St. Helens. So we don't know here, but Vicky's backing up now with the camera. And so let's put a few drops of glycerin in here, and let's be patient for it to work, and let's see what happens. And a cinder cone can go on like this for a long time. You'll notice that the smoke is kind of a purplish color, and that's because of the manganese, the element manganese. And as they say, smoke follows beauty. By the way, I do have a couple of books I have written for you volcano aficionados. Well, that's really producing a smell now, isn't it? But that would be very similar to a cinder cone. My first book here is called Volcanoes for Little Eyes. And it is made specially for the real youngsters, and lots of projects and activities, and they'll learn some things about volcanoes, not only the science of volcanoes, but even the origin of volcanoes from a biblical perspective. And then I have this book for high school students called Volcanoes, Volcanic Rocks, and Earthquakes, and how they tie into the flood, their origin, as well as the science of volcanoes and volcanic rocks. So our volcano is still going. A little bit different than the Mentos and Pepsi, isn't it?